Fan Podcast, episode 127. The comeback cardiac bears strike once again. 24-20 victory over the New York Giants, who fired their coach this morning. Um, the Bears do it again. It wasn't pretty. Me and Tom were moaning and groaning the entire game. And then Caleb and Ben Johnson and the defense and kind of make us eat our words. But is it sustainable? I guess is what we say. Like we just can't. It's not. The Giants are a bad team. Bengals are a bad team. Other
It is
teams aren't going to let us back in it.
it is not sustainable. Um and yeah, luck is part of it. Luck is part of a lot of wins, but let's be honest, if Jackson Dart stays in that game, they don't win that game.
Definitely not.
Um
He was killing us.
so they, what I'm saying, they caught a break with Jackson Dart getting hurt.
Blake
Um
got hurt too. That helped us a lot too. He was killing us till he got hurt. He was on pace for a
yeah,
career game.
like I just this defense is Swiss cheese, man. Um and it's really bad. It's like really, really historically bad. And I don't get it. I don't understand um why it is so bad. Um, Caleb Williams, we'll just kind of run down the game. Caleb 20 of 36, 220 yards, a touchdown. He also had 8 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown, including the game winner. Deandre Swift, 13 carries, 80 yards. Guy, 7 carries, 28 yards and a tutty. Adunze, 6 catches, 86 yards and a tutty. Even Colson Loveling got 4 catches, 55 yards. And Luther Burden, 3 catches, 51 yards. Loveland and Burden both made big catches in the last two drives, the comebacks, you know what I'm saying, for the comeback victory. A lot of bad drops from this wide receiver core, and that's going to be on my bad list. So we'll get to that here in a little bit. I do want to start off with the positives, with the goods that I saw, and that was, again, Caleb, clutch, ice in his veins, just clutch, clutch, clutch. I know we talked about it. I was fucking pissed off. The defense got me so angry all game, and I was just like, "Fuck, man! Like, how the fuck are we gonna let Jackson Dart come in here and beat us?" Um, but Caleb pulled it out. I when they went down, when they were down, when they went down, 20-10 or whatever it was. I was like, fuck, here we go again, this kind of shit. Like, Bears fans, it always happens to us. We get excited about something, then we get a bad loss, and then it kind of snowballs this, that, and the other. Caleb didn't, waver. Again, we got lucky, but I'll take it. Just if it wasn't for the drops, Caleb would have had a 72% adjusted completion percentage with about 300 yards and another touchdown. The offensive line, with the exception of Theo Benedict, again, was a big positive this week. Theo is great in the run game. He's great in the run game. He can't pass block to save his life. I don't know if we have to move over Darnell right over to the left side and put, Ozzy Trapillo, on the right side. I don't know if we have to go out and get a franchise left tackle in free agency or the draft this year, but that's probably what it's gonna, end up happening. They only gave up one sack, which was in the first quarter. One sack was negated by penalty. They did give up some pressures, especially Theo
A lot. I
Benedict. I
think
think
it's
he
12
gave
or
up
13.
yeah, I think he gave up like 5 or 6 pressures by himself. The rest
Yeah,
of them,
Thibodeau had him on skates all night.
but he escaped. Caleb
Oh
escaped.
yeah, that's one of my
You know,
notes. Houdini, Caleb,
absolutely.
all those pressures. He should have got sacked way more times, and he eluded all of them. I mean, instant pressures. Thibodeau was getting in there almost untouched, and Caleb was shaking him and either throwing it away or getting a completion, getting away. And yeah, that was definitely a positive.
Then my last positive, um, CJ Gardner-Johnson, only being there for 2 weeks. He had a multi-sack game, so he had 2 sacks. He had the forced fumble on Jackson Dart. That was the play that Jackson Dart got concussed, and Jackson Dart still came back in the game afterwards, which was kind of surprising because I was watching the game. I was watching that play. You could tell he was out. Like, he went to sleep on the field. I don't know how nobody else caught that, but
Oh, they're dead. Somebody's getting fined.
yeah, that man was out, like out on the field, and I was just like, damn. But CJ Gardner Johnson, again, 2 sacks. That forced fumble kind of turned the whole game around. That was big. So that is my positives. What other positive notes do you have from this week?
So I'll piggyback off you said the O line. The run game is still consistent. And just like I said, Caleb dodging all those sacks. And although he had a slow start to the game, it seems to be our curse. But in crunch time, when we needed him to uh, call upon his powers, he did. And that's something special about Caleb. Something that uh, you can't take away from him. Like you can complain, you can talk stuff all you want, the nails, the inaccuracies, but fourth quarter we need to get in field goal range. We need to score. He comes out and he runs it, he throws it, and he just seems to always come up with a big play. I was glad to see them get Rome involved in the game. We need him. We need all these guys. I think it's time to hand over the reins to the slot receiver to Luther Burden instead of
Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus. Yes, too many bad drops by him. And that's what we drafted Burden for. I know he's young. I know sometimes the vets they block better. But I think sometimes you got to kind of throw some of these guys out there. You learn on the job. You know what I mean? You'll learn. You'll get the feel for it. But like you said, Burden made big plays. We saw Loveland can make big plays. I like Cole Kmet as much as the next guy, but Loveland needs to be out there more. He's just a better player, big play potential. You know what I mean? Does anybody think Cole Kmet would have ping ponged off those two guys and got a way to score a touchdown? That's just not his game. But Loveland can be elite.
Well, that's the thing is that we said it last week, or at least I did, is that I don't know how we have to instill this mindset in Caleb Williams, but he should be playing every quarter like it's the fourth quarter because it just seems like he just completely turns into another gear. He was ripping the ball during those last two drives. I mean, accurate passes on the run, in the pocket, everything. I mean, he had some zip on it. Catch by Luther Burden. It was a timing route. It was absolutely perfect. He even broke a tackle. Deandre Swift on that 4th and 2, lowered the shoulder, lowered the boom, got loose, got that first down. That was a huge first down for the Bears on that drive. But you brought it up, you know what I'm saying? Those drops, that was my first bad, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just Zacchaeus.
No, Rome.
Zacchaeus had already dropped, he dropped 3 at that point, and on Caleb Williams' game-winning touchdown, he was wide open. And Caleb's like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to take this myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just like, I'm not putting the game in your hands. I'm taking the game in my hands, and I'm going to score this ball. But Rome had a drop. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know about a touchdown, but just wide open. He cannot drop that.
Like, it just another bad, performance in terms of drops. They had 7 going into this game all season statistically, and in this game alone they had 7 drops. But that leads me to my second bad that I had, and that was the offensive game plan. I was kind of confused by it. I know we give Ben Johnson, benefit of the doubt. They did win, but going into this game, the Giants had one of the league's worst run defenses, and we only ran the ball 20 times, which, you know what I'm saying? Caleb Williams threw the ball 36 times or 32 times or whatever the case is. It was a bad weather game as well. Why are we throwing the ball so much when we're, 3rd in the league in rushing, going up against one of the league's worst run defenses? That threw me through a loop a little bit. So, one of the bads was the offensive game plan because I felt like if they ran the ball more and controlled the clock and kept the ball out of the Giants' hands, Jackson Dart's hands in particular, the game probably wouldn't have been that close. And that's got to be the game plan going forward because you cannot trust this defense. And that's my last bad is the defense. Deshaun Wright is a practice squad corner at best. You know what I'm saying? He's just not it. Tyreek Stevenson has regressed a little bit because he's had to take on the number 1 corner role, and he's just not ready. He doesn't have it. You know what I'm saying? There's talk about, I don't know when Jalen Johnson's coming back with this injury. It's a pretty big injury. So who knows? Maybe he doesn't even make it back unless the Bears make the playoffs. If that's the case, then we need to figure something out at corner. One of the solutions just signed on the Pittsburgh Steelers practice squad, and Asante Samuel Jr. He was supposed to have the visit today. I don't even know if he made it to the building before he signed with the Steelers. I didn't read anything about that. I don't know. But with Stevenson playing the way he is and Nashawn Wright, like I said, Nashawn Wright, he's probably a great dude, good teammate, stuff like that. But we got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison next week against Minnesota. Granted, they
He
got
did
JJ
pick six
McCarthy
them.
throwing them the ball, but
Didn't he pick six though?
yeah,
I know. I totally agree. Deshaun Wright, he dropped an interception again. We had a couple. I think we had two dropped interceptions, but he dropped one that was like right to him. And when you're getting abused all night, nothing will make you look better than catching an interception. But I agree, they're not there. I don't know if I would say Tiger Stevens impressed. I just think he's getting picked on. He's got to go out there, guard the best guys. Are
like
although
I said, he's had to play number one corner, and he's not a number
no,
one
no,
corner.
I agree. So he and pass rushers to help, and uh, TJ Edwards being hurt really hurts us as well. Sewell is, while he plays with a lot of energy and I like him, seems like a nice kid. He's just not.
He's
He's
not a
playing with
starter.
no. He's not playing smart. He's got his head in his ass. Just some of the play you saw, the play where Dart scored a touchdown. They ran like a QB trap play, and he's like dropping in coverage. Like, come on, like you said, is that game plan? You guys know Dart's going to run it in. That's what he's been doing. I agree, Ben Johnson. I don't know why we didn't run the ball more. We should have had 30 carries between Mononga and Swift easily. That's what we've been doing. That's been our recipe to success, and that's how we hide our defense. They're opportunistic. They seem to be able to call upon their powers and get a turnover when they need it, but we cannot rely on that. We saw that in the Ravens game.
Yep.
They didn't necessarily, like, we were too reliant on the defense getting turnovers and saving us, and we ended up losing to Tyron Huntley. Like,
Well, it's not just the offensive game plan that I want to call out, it's the defensive game plan too. And it's got to change going into this game against Minnesota coming up because um, mobile quarterbacks have been the death of the Chicago Bears defense so far this year. Well, defense in general, every offense against this defense so far, but in particular, the mobile quarterbacks. Week one against Minnesota, JJ McCarthy leads that comeback because he's able to use his legs, he's able to run. We lose to Tyler Huntley because we allowed him to move the pocket and extend
he had a bunch
plays.
of great runs
Same
too.
thing,
Yeah.
same thing with Jackson Dart. Every single one of those games, have you noticed? Because I have, not one time in any of those games have we had a quarterback spy. I don't know if it's a Dennis Allen, he just doesn't believe in it, or it's not, it's a coaching decision, whatever the case may be. But there's been no spy in those games against mobile quarterbacks. You can't have that happen going into Minnesota again. You have to have a spy on the quarterback, especially on third downs when this seems to be, one of those things where it's like third and medium, stuff like that, where the Bears defense is really getting killed by these mobile quarterbacks and, being able to move the pocket. You got to have a spy. Dennis Allen has not, and that is something that I did want to call out. Now, I know we talked about no pass rush. Montez Sweat got another sack. It was against Russell Wilson. Whoop-de-doo. Austin Booker, though, did have quite a few pressures. I think he had like 4 or 5 pressures. He had a 13.8% pressure rate on his
No, I
pass
like him. I
rushes.
think he's good to bring out there because he comes in hot off the edge, and sometimes even if you don't get there, it's still when you come in screaming off the edge, the quarterback's got to step up before he wants to, and it kind of leads to other sacks. You can blitz off it. We need
Yeah,
something like that. We got to create chaos. You saw CJ get a sack. I got 2 sacks. I think he just needs to be coming with the blitz more and more and more, especially against Dart, against like, you don't need to be sitting back in max coverage against these guys. Let's send them. JJ McCarthy, they're going to make good decisions. No, like, you're not. It's not Patrick Mahomes. It's not Josh Allen. Like, why we need to be getting after these guys. Like, I didn't get it when we weren't doing it again. Like, we was working against Rattler, and then they can complacent, and they're like, our strength isn't a 4-man pass rush. We can't be
no.
leaning on that. Like, that can't be something we go to when we're like that. I don't. They need to figure it out. Just come with the blitzes. I can live with us bringing heat. That, you know what I mean, and shit happening. But if we're just sitting back, rushing for, and just getting picked apart the entire game, then like that's not going to work. We don't have the corners for that, or we got backup linebackers in. We don't have the pass rush for that. It's just not going to work. So Dennis Allen, I mean, and the fourth quarter, I guess it's working. We're getting lucky with the injuries as well. And I don't like to say luck. I mean, it is the NFL. Things happen. People are always hurt, and like we talked about last week, can't apologize for a victory. But I am very happy we're 6-3. This is what this is at like the peak of my expectations where we were going to be at this point in the season. But it's not sustainable. You're not going to get 2 stops against the Lions in the fourth quarter to drive a comeback down 10. It's not happening. Like that's not. We're down with 4 minutes to go. We're not scoring 10 points in 4 minutes against the Lions or against the Eagles. So they need to figure it out. I mean, people got hurt. This is football. This is what we have coaches for. Hopefully, Jalen Johnson comes back. But like I said, missed out with Asante Samuels. With CJ Gardner-Johnson working out, I don't know why we haven't took a little more risk than some of the people. You brought this up to me. I kind of completely forgot about him. What Christian Wilkins is out there. I mean, he was a locker room problem or whatever and got in trouble. I don't know if that's sexual assault or whatever the hell they want to call it. But, well, like, it worked out for Gardner-Johnson. Honestly, Gardner-Johnson, in my opinion, situation was even worse than Wilkins. He was playing good and got kicked off the team.
Yeah.
Like he had a decent game and got kicked off the team at like that was like a huge red flag to me because like what the hell are you doing? So I don't know like what is like you brought it up to me. I don't see what the harm could be to be signing. I know he wants to play. He needs to get in shape. He needs some tape so he can get paid next year. It's a win-win for everybody. If he's a nuisance, you kick him off the team. If he's good, then you know what I mean. We got first dibs to re-sign him, and if you know what I mean, if not, it didn't hurt us. So I don't know why. Again, same with Asante Samuel Jr. Why did we go out and get him?
I have not seen. I searched, like I searched. I tried to find some stories and stuff on it, and it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of information as to what's going on. I mean, at least with Asante Samuel Jr., you kind of knew what Hey, he's coming back from injury. He's taking visits. This and the other. Christian Wilkins, it's been radio silence on all fronts. I mean, I haven't
It
seen
makes me
anybody.
think that like the Players Association or somebody's about to like sue him or something, or like he's a. I don't know why it hasn't. I don't get it because I completely forgot about it. You brought it up, but it's like I don't understand why teams are taking a flyer on him. And just each week goes on, we're going to regret not making a move at the deadline. Saw the Eagles; they're a Super Bowl contender who really didn't need it. They went out and got Jalen Phillips, and he's making plays right away.
Yeah.
Um, just somebody's gonna have to step up. I like Booker; he's been fine, but I don't know what's gonna happen. TJ Edwards coming back isn't gonna magically make us a top 10 defense or a top 15 defense.
No, I mean,
Um,
there's no such thing as too much depth on the defensive line, and like you said, it's what week 11 coming up against
yeah,
Minnesota. You got 7 weeks left in the regular season, 8 weeks left technically if you count week 11, and so on. I mean, it's a half a season, less than a half a season. Why wouldn't you at least, like you said, if it doesn't work out, then you lose
no
nothing.
harm, no foul. He lost nothing.
You're gonna sign them for the veteran minimum anyway. So why what's the risk? It's a low risk high reward kind of thing because it's not like you're signing up to a multi-year deal or anything
Yes,
like
and he's
that. It's
extremely
literally.
motivated to play well.
So I don't know. Like I said, I wish I had Ryan Poles' personal cell phone number so I can call and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Because a lot of the shit just doesn't make sense. Um, but week 11's coming up. We kind of touched on it a little bit. Bears at Vikings. Um, Breakdown of this game essentially is that J.J. McCarthy has not looked good. Justin Jefferson has looked very disinterested in playing football these last couple of weeks. So what we cannot do is allow J.J. McCarthy to get comfortable and get into a rhythm and turn into, fucking Tom Brady like he did week 1 and allow that Vikings team to get back in the game. So realistically, like I said, with the mobile quarterbacks, he likes to move the pocket. He likes to extend plays with his legs. The Bears got to stop that. That's got to be number one. Hopefully TJ Edwards does come back and play this game because we're gonna need him in the run game. There's a big difference in run defense when TJ Edwards is in the game and when he's not in the game. I know the Giants didn't run the ball all that much. The running backs didn't do too much damage. It was mostly their quarterback, but Mason and Jones. Jones is back healthy. Both those running backs from Minnesota are good backs.
Jones loves to
And
fucking kick our ass. So
yeah, so TJ Edwards, you know what I'm saying? They need TJ back. Hopefully the run defense steps up a little bit. I don't have too much faith, but you got to keep them limited, which you got to keep their offense off the field, which leads me to number 2 is run, run, run. They have to run the football, keep the offense off the field. Brian Flores loves to blitz. He loves to bring exotic blitzes. He's one of the best.
Brian Flores, you were saying he likes to bring exotic blitzes. We're
Yeah,
back
so
on.
sorry about that, technical difficulties. But yeah, Brian Flores is one of the best defensive coordinators in the game with exotic blitzes, and one of the ways to beat exotic blitzes and to limit that is having a good run game, and that's what the Bears do best. So they need to run, run, run. Um, I want to see more from Austin Booker, and they got to win the turnover battle. Um, for you, what are some of the keys to the game that the Bears need to do against Minnesota?
I agree, 100%. Definitely need to run the ball. And on defense, like I said, blitz. JJ McCarthy's a rookie. I like JJ McCarthy. I will continue to sing his praises. I think he's going to eventually turn into a very solid NFL quarterback. I don't think picking people apart for 300 yards a game is his specialty, but he's clutch. On third, he knows how to convert on third downs and to run a pro style offense. And I think we got to keep him on his toes, and he'll turn the ball over. He likes to attack down the field. Um, and yeah, we just got to keep the pressure on him and not play sit back in this bend don't break defense and wait for the turnovers to come. I think that's what we've been doing. And when it's guys like, no offense to Jackson Dart, I mean, he's been balling and he looks like the real deal, but he's still rookie in this league, missing his starting running back, starting wide receiver, and he went out and torched us. Like that can't happen. Like, I mean, it's one thing when Joe Flacco does it. He's a vet. He's got T. Higgins. They got Jamar Chase. So, you know what I mean? Obviously, you don't want to see that happen, but the signs are there. But rookie Jackson Dart in his eighth NFL game without his two best players coming out and shitting on you is not a good look. So Dennis Allen needs to get his head out of his ass. And figure something out. I mean, he's a great coach, and we've seen pieces of it. We've seen him be able to figure some stuff out in the fourth quarter. We've seen some games where we've been decent, and at the end of the day, we only gave up 20 points. It looked horrible, but 20 points in NFL games not that big of a deal. We can overcome that, but that's what we got to keep it at. But if Jackson Dart doesn't get hurt, they definitely score 20. So, yeah, go ahead.
No, if you had more, please continue.
No, not really. Like, it's hard to keep it playing because we won, and they're doing what the Bears never do and come through in the fourth quarter. And I don't want to take the wins for granted, and you know what I mean. I don't want to argue for the sake, or complain for the sake of it, but it just hasn't been perfect. The upside is the Lions or the Vikings aren't that good, especially now with JJ quarterback. He's not ready. The Packers look like shit. They lost Tucker Kraft, their best player, and I mean, Jordan Love, I guess, is sometimes like Aaron Rodgers, where he can call upon his powers for the Bears game, but they look very beatable. And them going out and only scoring less than 20 points most games, they lose to the Panthers. So, but the Lions are the real deal. Like I said earlier, we're not beating them down by 10 with 4 minutes left. Not happening.
Lions, well, see, that's so fucked up about the NFC North is that we talk about the Lions absolutely wrecked us, right? Week 2, we barely lost the Vikings week 1 at home. Minnesota goes on the road, beats Detroit. We got Minnesota. It's just like
yeah.
This division's gonna
it's
beat
not
up
a
on each other.
1-to-1. It's just we have a bad defense.
Yes,
those teams don't have I guess the Lions are mediocre, but those teams don't have bad defenses like us, and we got to figure out we're not going to just be able to keep coming back.
Green Bay is gonna waste a historic defensive year. Their defenses, they've got the best defense in the division right now, but their offense can't get out of their own way, and that'll be a factor cap thing coming up here pretty soon. Because so with that being said, what's your Sunday final score prediction for Bears Vikings?
I will say 24-20 like this week. Bears. I think it'll be a hard fought game, but I think we're gonna come out on top. They're inspiring the confidence in me that when the fourth quarter comes around, Ben Johnson and Caleb will get it together and put together win. And the defense has shown us that as bad as they can be quarters 1 through 3. That in the fourth quarter when they need to stop and they get turnover, you know, most of the game, 9 out of 11 games, they've been able to do it.
I've got it 27-24 Bears. And yes, it's my fandom coming out a little bit, kind of just being subjective. I just like you kind of said it. I think we'll fall down in the fourth quarter. Maybe not so late in the fourth quarter, but I think Caleb Williams leads a touchdown drive in the fourth quarter. Bears take a 27-24. Defense steps up, gets us a stop, and we get the victory. Are you ready for Week 10 overreaction factor cap, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. I just talked about it, so this is going to be number one. Matt LaFleur is the reason that Green Bay keeps losing games and will waste a historical defensive season.
I don't know. It's a combination of him and Jordan Love. But I saw say yes. It was funny. I wrote that down in my notes. It's like, is Matt LaFleur going to get fired? As much as we've been singing his praises, I think if this season goes up in the flames like it is, he might be out of there.
Well, I said fact as well because it just seems like he's kind of lost his magic in terms of the play calling ability. So I don't know if he's got to give up play calling ability.
That story came out that they knew they had kept running that play, and the Philly defense knew what they were running.
Inside zone essentially with Josh Jacobs when it's 3rd and 2 or less. And maybe he needs to give up play calling. Maybe he's lost the voice in the locker room for that offense. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he needs a fresh start somewhere else. I don't know. I don't think they should fire him just because I don't know how you fire a coach that's got as many wins as he does. But Jordan Love, as good as he is, he's not a $55 million a year quarterback. He's better than Caleb Williams right now. But ceiling wise, long term, I don't think he's a $55 million a year guy. I think they had no other
option. I don't think
option.
He's better than Caleb.
They had no other option at that time to pay him. Or other than to pay him, because there was nobody else out there that they could have got at that time, to come in and play quarterback. I don't know. Matt LaFleur's he's either got to give up play calling duties, or if the season continues to fall after being on top, I think you might see a change in coach at Green Bay. Number 2, the Rams are the team to beat in the NFC.
I'll say Cap. I still think it's the Eagles. I know they're not as dominant as they were, but they did win the Super Bowl. They've been to the Super Bowl 2 out of 3 years. They still got Saquon. They still got a top 10 quarterback, top 3 running back, top 10 wide receiver, and a top 10 defense. I think it's hard. And unfortunately for Matt Stafford, he's injury prone. Puka's injury prone. I don't know. I don't see them as a favorite. They played last year and they lost. So I don't think they're the favorite. I won't be shocked, and I think they're the second favorite. But I think it's still the Eagles.
I'm going to say fiction, but not because of the Eagles. I don't even think that they're the team to beat in their division. Seattle has looked amazing. You're going to sit there and laugh at me all you want, and that's fine. But as much shit as we give, Sam Darnold for turning into a pumpkin for Minnesota last year, he looks like a different quarterback so far this year. JSN is turning into one of the best wide receivers in football.
He looks like he looked in the first half of last year.
They got a great running game. They got a great defense. Seattle's going to be a player. Seattle's going to be a contender. And I think they take the division over LA because of the reasons that you said with Matthew Stafford being injury prone, Puka, even, Devontae Adams right now is, kind of on the mend. He's kind of hurting over last week's game as well. Philly, they're a good team, but I don't know. Something's missing from Philly this year. Before they got Jalen Phillips and stuff like that, their defense wasn't, it wasn't clicking. I feel like something's missing from Philly, but I think Seattle's a real player. Number 3, the Ravens will win the AFC North after starting 2-5.
What are the records now? I saw something.
They're 4-5 right now, and Pittsburgh is 5-4.
Yes, they're going to win. I think the Steelers are. I don't know. Like Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. He's an old vet now. He's not that good. Um, they don't got. I think they got Metcalf, but they got a lot of weapons. Defense is aging. I just have a lot of faith in Lamar. The Ravens, they're perennial winners. As long as Lamar doesn't get hurt, they're gonna probably run the table and get the job done.
Yeah, I'm gonna say fact as well. For reasons that you pointed out. I mean, Pittsburgh's just collapsing. Um, Realistically, I know it's been talked about for the last couple of years, but they they may be without a coach next year if they continue to go down the slide and they end up not making the playoffs. Um,
Oh, if they don't make it this year, he's getting fired.
Mike Tomlin's probably out.
Yeah,
Like
I
that's
mean, and
just
it's just I think it's kind of a Matt LaFleur thing where it's like maybe he lost the locker room, just it's not working. These are um, cornerstone franchises who they have their fan base and ownership, and everybody's got to feel like they're contenders. They don't have to be the best team, but they have to put out a team that's people won't be shocked if you know what I mean. You're going to make it to the Super Bowl, and I think the Steelers have lost that. I don't necessarily think it's Mike Tomlin's fault. I think they've had some bad drafts. I think, um, unfortunately, he is such a good coach that it puts them in a position to where they're not getting the elite draft picks you need to rebuild your team. Um, and yeah, I think Mike Tom they might be without Mike Tomlin, but that's just some lucky teams going to have Mike Tomlin. I think he's a good coach. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with what he's doing. I just think he's to stay in Pittsburgh might be coming to a 10, but I think he'll
maybe it'll be the New York Giants.
yeah. Somebody I think he'll find a nice job somewhere, and I just think it's kind of like the Lovey thing. As much as you know what I mean, after the fact, it's easy to say, obviously, you shouldn't have fired Lovey, but we had been stagnant. So, not that like Lovey wasn't bad, wasn't his fault. You got to shake something up. And unfortunately, you can't really shake up the players like you can the coaching staff. You kind of get stuck with what you got.
Number 4, moving over to the AFC. I asked this question about the NFC. The New England Patriots are the team to beat in the AFC.
I don't think they're the team to beat. I think, again, they're fun to watch. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm nothing against them. I just think there's some really good. Yeah, I mean, we got the Chiefs, we got the Bills, we got we're just talking about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. It's hard to say that Drake May and the Patriots are a favorite. I would just like to see them fit. I would like to see how they do this year in the playoffs, and I'll be ready.
Well, that's what I have as well. I have as fiction only because of the inexperience of Drake May and the rest of the players. They're just a young team. They're fun to watch. Travion Henderson had a great game. Finally. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're fun to watch, but they are inexperienced. And when you go up against a Kansas City or a Buffalo or even a Baltimore in the playoffs, it's a completely different environment and a whole lot of different pressure than playing them in the regular season. I just feel like the experience kind of wins out in that big moments. You know what I'm saying? All those guys, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, they're used to that. And Drake May hasn't. But we will see.
Maybe he does.
They will go to the playoffs. But as of right now, I just think the inexperience is going to kill them.
And just the lack of talent, I think, is inexperience, and their team just isn't there yet. Diggs is their best player on offense, and although he's good, he hasn't led a team anywhere. It's not like he's a top. I wouldn't say he's a top 15.
I'd say Drake May is their best
player
on offense.
I mean, outside of him. I just mean outside of him. Like he can't throw the ball to himself. Like he can only do so much. He's not gonna win with his legs. They just don't. They're mediocre tight end. They're pretty much mediocre wide receiver. Henderson had a big game, but unless he continues to do that, they're below average at running back. Defense is really good. They shut the run down. Mike Vrabel's going to do his thing, but they need a few more pieces. I think they need to pass some pass rushers, stuff like that.
Final one. Jonathan Taylor will win MVP.
As right now, if I had to pick somebody, I'd say I do, but I'll say Cap in the sense that I think that one of these quarterbacks will pull away. I think Patrick Mahomes or Matt Stafford.
I'm gonna say Cap because will he win? No. Should he win? Yes. MVPs over the last, I don't even know how many years, has been a quarterback award. And I feel like somehow, some way, the media, even if he, goes, because he's on pace for like 1,900 rushing yards, 26 rushing touchdowns, 29 total touchdowns. Um, I just, they'll find a way to give it to a quarterback, whether it be, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson leading the comeback for the Ravens to get into the playoffs. It'll be something like that, and he'll get Offensive Player of the Year, but he won't get MVP.
I mean, May might get it. I don't. I just think it's going to be a quarterback. Not to say that he doesn't have an amazing season. He'd have to like break LT's record or Henry's record. I don't think he's going to.
All right, final segment of the week. Dog of the week, week 10. Sean, who is your week 10 dog of the week?
Jahmyr Gibbs single-handedly won me my fantasy game, but he was just out there balling. I watched a lot of the game, and man, watching our defense play and knowing we have to play them soon worries me. But yes, he was just out there killing. He just couldn't be touched. He is just a freak. But yeah, he balled out.
My dog of the week this week is a running back as well. It is not Jahmyr Gibbs. It is Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, yeah,
32 carries, 244 yards, and 3 touchdowns. This is his 5th game this year with 3 or more touchdowns, which is absolutely unheard of. There's 2 running backs combined in the NFL that have scored 3 or more touchdowns this season. Jonathan Taylor has done it 5 times. It's absolutely absurd. He leads the league in 3 touchdown games, and that includes quarterbacks. Like that's nuts. But yeah, he's insane. Jonathan Taylor. I know I said Jahmyr Gibbs was the best running back in the league. I think he took that personally when I said that, because since I said that, Jonathan Taylor has been an absolute monster. I think right now Jonathan Taylor is 1 and Jahmyr Gibbs is 2 in terms of best backs in the league right now. But maybe you guys agree with me. Maybe you disagree with me. I want to see down in the comments who your dog of the week is this week. Let's, I want to argue. I want to argue. Give me your dog of the week. If you think it's somebody that is on your team that's deserving of it, then by all means, let's hear it. But hopefully one of these weeks, hopefully it's a fucking Chicago Bear.
We did guy one week.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Tom said, comments, please like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, after another Bears victory. Hopefully, we don't have to come back from 10-point deficit the fourth quarter to get it. But if we do, I'll take it as well. Adios.
All right. See you next week.